Did anyone else get the email that I got from KDP? Schedule when your KDP print book becomes live on Amazon. That is what the subject of the email said. We are going to be discussing the huge update that Amazon's KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, just made. That's a game changer for self-published authors. Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm an author, book cover designer, and the creator of the Book Launch Planner series. And I make weekly videos on the business of being an author. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a new upload. So the excitement that has rumbled over this email that KDP sent is whether or not this means that we get to have print book pre-orders on Kindle Direct Publishing, which is something we've been asking for many, many years. Right now, there's a couple of different ways to do print book pre-orders, just not through KDP. You can do it through Ingram Spark, Barnes & Noble Press, Draft Digital. I think Lulu also does print book pre-orders. They're all a bit clunky, and a lot of them have a lot of flaws or just distribution issues. And while it is possible to do print book pre-orders, in my opinion, there's no easier platform to use than KDP. So if KDP ever gets print book pre-orders, that would be a game changer, which is why this email was so exciting and then disappointing. So let me read you the email that I got. We're excited to announce that starting today, you have the option to decide when your book's detail page becomes available to readers on Amazon for your KDP paperback and hardcover books. When creating a new print book, you'll see an option to release your book now or schedule a release date. If you choose to schedule a release date, you'll be able to select a date 5 to 90 days in the future for your book to go live on Amazon. On this date, the book's detail page becomes visible at 12 a.m. GMT for readers to purchase your KDP book on Amazon everywhere you have territory rights to. So, what does this mean? I'll break the news first that this does not mean we have print book pre-orders. It sounded very promising initially, and then the more you read the email, the more you're like, oh, never mind. But this does mean a couple other things that is still exciting for self-published authors. The first is that the sales page for your book can go live early. So it'll show that the paperback book will be available eventually. I'm sure it'll have some information about the release date on the page. It'll have the book's blurb, the cover, all of that. It just won't be available for purchase. So it will be on Amazon. It just won't be for sale yet until we reach that release date that we've picked out. Which is what's the point of having the page live if people can't buy the book yet? There really is no point. It's just kind of there. You can link stuff early, which is kind of nice. But otherwise, it's not really much of a feature. But this does mean that we know exactly when our paperback book will be live on Amazon, which to me is a bit of a game changer and very exciting because you can pick out the exact date your ebook goes live. We've always been able to do that, but it didn't always used to be that way for paperback or hardcover books. The way it would work is that we would submit our paperback or hardcover files, wait for them to be approved, and whenever they were approved is when they went live on Amazon. I remember when I first started self-publishing, I was told that it took 2 weeks for your book to get approved by Amazon KDP. So I would submit the book 2 weeks early, and then the book would get approved very quickly, and then the book would accidentally publish 2 weeks early. So now we know exactly when our paperback book will be live. So if you have your final files for your paperback or hardcover book ready a week in advance, you can go ahead, submit those files, upload them, submit them for publishing, and know that they won't be live on Amazon until the release date. So it's a small detail, but it is very nice, and it kind of makes you feel more professional when you have control of exactly when your book's going to show up on Amazon. To be frank, I'm actually surprised it took this long for KDP to make this a feature because it was just kind of something that was that felt silly to me to not be able to have absolute control over something like this. But odds are it's one of those things that's like was so small and minuscule that KDP was like, it's not important. We have more pressing things to work on, which I assume is why it did take so long to make this a feature. But I'm glad it's a feature now. Perhaps the most exciting part of all this is that KDP says we can now order author copies of the book before the book is released. Why is this a big deal? So this right here is the proof copy of The Trail to You and Me. This is the copy of the book that I get when I order my book through KDP before the book is released. So if I wanted a version of my book that did not have this not for resale bar across the cover, I would have to wait until the book is released and then I can order a pretty looking cover. But according to KDP, if you upload your final files and schedule your book for release, you'll be able to order author copies that I believe do not have this ugly bar across the cover. This to me actually is a game changer because as an author who likes to use social media to market, I prefer to have a copy of my book that does not have this bar across the cover because I use this for marketing. And when you have this bar is ugly. Now, I can't say this 100% for certain because I have no way to test this out. I'm not in the process of releasing a book right now, but I'm pretty sure that is what this means. So I wouldn't bank on this information, but I do believe this is kind of the main factor that KDP was trying to figure out, is being able to print author copies of the book without this bar across the cover. And I actually do think that's a game changer because otherwise, if I wanted a copy of my book that didn't have a bar across the cover, I would have to go to another print-on-demand company like Ingram Spark or Barnes & Noble Press just to get a version of the book that didn't have a bar on it. Now, I think KDP is definitely moving in the right direction, and I definitely do think that print book pre-orders are in our future. I don't know how far into the future they are, but the fact that they're doing updates like this is a very, very good sign. Even in their email, I'll read it directly, they say, please note that scheduling a release date is not the same as setting a pre-order for your print title, which KDP doesn't offer for print books at this time. And I feel like that's very important. They say at this time. So my guess is it's on their radar. It's perhaps something they're working on and something they're just trying to figure out logistically. At least that's what I keep telling myself because I would love to do print book pre-orders through KDP because I've basically sworn off doing print book pre-orders any other way because things go wrong. If you want to know how the last set of print book pre-orders went terribly wrong, watch my Ingram Spark video. You'll learn how The Trail to You and Me, the print book pre-orders, was an absolute fiasco and nightmare. I will leave that video linked down below if you're curious. Anyways, that is the update for KDP. KDP did make a new page on their website, so if you want to read more into it and what scheduling a release is versus, a normal release, I will leave the article linked below so you can look into it more and read it for yourself and interpret it for yourself. Otherwise, that is it for this video. I think this is very exciting. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you all next week.